Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing First They Killed My Father, A Daughter of Cambodia Remembers by Luong Ung. I picked up this book at the S-21 prison in Phnom Penh, where many people were tortured and killed. And I thought, okay, I've gone to this prison, I've gone to the killing fields, I've been exposed to many horrible things that happen in Cambodia, and little did I know that this story uh, of someone who was a child when all this was going on could be even more horrific. And I think that's one of the challenges of reading books about genocide is you think you've reached some level and then something more happens. And what I'm going to do in today's review is I'm just going to read a few excerpts to give you some sense of things, and then I'm going to read from what I consider to be one of the most challenging parts of the book for me in terms of its horror. And it may not land the same way for you because you didn't read the text getting up to that point, but I still think it's evocative. And I mean, spoiler alert, she certainly survived because she wrote this book, but I don't think that telling you about this particular scene at the end will ruin things for you. But in any case, I hope that you consider reading this book. If you haven't had a chance to do so, consider hitting the like button or subscribe if you haven't had a chance to do so already. The killings have started, Pa tells my older brothers as we walk back down the mountain to our rendezvous area. The Khmer Rouge are executing people perceived to be a threat against the Angkar. This new country has no law or order. City people are killed for no reason. Anyone can be viewed as a threat to the Angkar. Former civil servants, monks, doctors, nurses, artists, teachers, students, even people who wear glasses, as the soldiers view this as a sign of intelligence. Anyone the Khmer Rouge believes has the power to lead a rebellion will be killed. We have to be extremely careful, but if we keep moving to different villages, we may stay safe. So Luong's father had worked for the government and was an educated person and was able to see right from the beginning what the Khmer Rouge was going to be like, and he kept his family safe for a long amount of time. Though we are all supposed to be equal, there are nonetheless 3 levels of citizenship in the village. The first-class citizenry comprises the chief, who has authority over the whole village, his aides, and the Khmer Rouge soldiers. They are all base people and the Khmer Rouge cadres. They have the power to teach, police, judge, and execute. They make all decisions, work details, food rations per family, severity of punishment. They are the eyes and ears of the Angkar at the local level. They report all activities to the Angkar and have full power to enforce the Angkar's law. If you haven't picked up on it yet, Angkar is the organization. That's the name that was attributed to the Khmer Rouge in the early days, or they used internally with the people. If we think of 1940, 1984, the party would be the other way of thinking about it. 1984 is fictional, and this is a reality, and yet you can see the convergence of the fiction and the reality in this story. Then there are the base people. If the first-class citizens are the all-powerful, brutal teachers, the base people are the bullies who work closely with them. Though they are not omnipotent like the first-class citizenry, they lead almost autonomous lives away from the prying eyes of the soldiers. They live in their own houses on the other side of the village, separate from us. The base people do not eat communally or work with the new people. However, they are often seen on our side of the village, patrolling the area and telling us what to do. Many are related to the first-class citizens and keep the chief informed of our day-to-day activities. The new people are considered the lowest in the village structure. They have no freedom of speech and must obey the other classes. The new people are those who lived in cities and have been forced out to the villages. They cannot farm like the rural people. They are suspected of having no allegiance to the Angkar and must be kept under an ever-watchful eye for signs of rebellion. They have led corrupt lives and must be trained to be productive workers. To instill a sense of loyalty to the Angkar and break what the Khmer Rouge views as an inadequate urban work ethic, the new people are given the hardest work and the longest hours. Even among the new people, there are different classes. Those who were formerly students or involved in professions such as civil service, medicine, art, or teaching are considered morally corrupt. Then it's the ethnic Vietnamese, Chinese, and other minority groups who are considered racially corrupt. When asked about jobs in their former lives, the new people lie and claim to be poor peasants, like Pa did, or small shopkeepers. In the Khmer Rouge agrarian society, only good workers are valuable. All others are expendable. Thus, the new people must work extremely hard to prove that they are worth more alive than dead. Pa says because we are different, Chinese Cambodian, we will have to work harder than the others. And something, if you're picking up on it, she uses the present tense in the book, which gives you this sense of immediacy that would not work, I think, if it was in the past tense. If she's telling you this happened, she's giving you the perspective of a child experiencing this in the present tense, and it makes it really much more powerful and immediate. So this is the scene I was referring to, and you have to realize the people have been subject to unbelievable cruelty and murders over a 4-year period. And the Vietnamese have liberated them, and now they've come across a Khmer Rouge soldier, this man who represents all of the evil that has been done to them. And what's happening now is mob justice. And Luong, our main character, finds out that these Khmer Rouge soldiers have been captured, and at least one of them is going to be effectively executed. And she wants to see it for herself. She has great hatred because obviously her father has been killed, her mother has been killed, along with her youngest sister. And she suspects this may give her some sort of cathartic release. So let's hear it. This is the prisoner. His face reveals nothing. His lips do not beg for mercy. He sits propped up on a high-backed chair on a gravel hill that serves as a stage. He is dark and wears the black clothes of the Khmer Rouge, the black clothes I still wear. His matted hair is sweaty, and he hangs his head to focus on his feet. The rough hemp rope that binds his feet together is so tightly tied that it draws blood. More rope straps him to the back of the chair. It coils around him from the chest down to the stomach. Murderer! You deserve to die a slow, painful death, someone yells. This is what we have planned for him. I hope he knows his life is about to end. I hope he knows we are here because we want his blood and will soon rip him apart for it. People talk loudly about the best way to kill him. They argue about how to make the execution as drawn out and painful as possible. They discuss which tools to use to crack his skull, to slice his throat. Someone says we should let him sit in the sun, shave his skin open little by little, and rub salt into the wounds. Someone else wants to strangle him barehanded. The discussion continues for a long time, but the people cannot agree on what to do. Finally, 2 middle-aged men step up in front. The crowd hushes. The prisoner glances up. He looks scared now. His eyes are squinting and his lips move as if to mutter something, but he decides against it and purses his lips shut. Sweat pours from his face, slides over his Adam's apple, and soaks his shirt. He bends his head, looks down at his feet again, knowing there is no way out. His government has created a vengeful, bloodthirsty people. Pol Pot has turned me into someone who wants to kill. Brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, one of the 2 men yell. We have decided that this Khmer Rouge will be executed for his crimes. His blood will avenge the innocent people he has slaughtered. We are asking for volunteers to be the executioners. The crowd roars. They look about, wondering who will be the first to volunteer. At first, no one raises his hand. For all the big talk, everyone stays silent. Then a few hands go up, and the crowd comes to life again. A woman, crying loudly, pushes her way to the front of the crowd. She is young, maybe in her mid-20s. Her straight black hair is tied back, giving us a view of her angular, thin face. Like me, she wears the Khmer Rouge clothes. Though tears fall from her eyes, her face is dark and angry. I know this Khmer Rouge soldier, she screams. In her left hand, she holds a 9-inch knife. It is copper brown, rusty, and dull. He was the Khmer Rouge soldier in my village. He killed my husband and baby. I will avenge them. Another woman then pushes her way out of the crowd. I also know him. He killed my children and grandchildren. Now I am alone in this world. The second woman is older, perhaps 60 or 70. She is thin and wears black clothes. In her hand she holds a hammer, its wooden handle worn and splintered. One man takes the woman aside while the others continue to speak to the audience. I am no longer listening. I am fixated on the prisoner. He looked up briefly when the two women came forth, but now he is back in position, head down, eyes to the ground. I watch without emotion as the old woman walks slowly up to him, her hammer in hand. Above us, the black clouds move with her, shadowing where she goes. She stands in front of him, staring at the top of his head. I want to shield my eyes from what's about to happen, but I cannot. The old woman's hands shake as she raises the hammer high above her head and brings it crashing down into the prisoner's skull. He screams a loud, shrill cry that pierces my heart like a stake, and I imagine that this, maybe, is how Pa died. The soldier's head hangs, bobbing up and down like a chicken's. Blood gushes out of his wound, flowing down his forehead, ears, and dripping from his chin. The woman raises her hammer again. I almost feel pity for him. But it is too late to let him go. It is too late to go back. It is too late for my parents and my country. Blood splatters the woman's clothes, body, face. She screams and swings the hammer up above her head again. Blood droplets land on my pants and face. I wipe them off. Red smudges are still on my palms. Another scream comes from the old woman. This time her hammer smashes his leg. His leg jerks, but is held down by the rope. The hammer lands over and over again, on his arms, shoulders, and knees, before the younger woman moves towards him. Taking her knife, she pushes it into the prisoner's stomach. More blood pours out, spilling over his chair. She stabs him again, this time in the chest. The Khmer Rouge body convulses and trembles as if electricity is traveling to the legs, arms, and fingers. Gradually, he stops moving, slumping over in the chair. Finally, the women stand still. Their weapons drip with blood as they walk away. When they turn around, I see that they look like death themselves. Their hair trickles blood and sweat. Their clothes drip, their faces red and rigid. Only their eyes look alive as they seethe with more rage and hate. The women are quiet as the crowd parts for them to pass through. During the execution, the crowd did not cheer but watched, silent and devoid of emotion, as if it were the slaughter of an animal for food. After the women are gone, the crowd begins to buzz. Did you see how rich and dark the blood was? It was the color of the devil's blood. It is rich because he has been feasting on the food we grew while my family died from starvation. His blood is dark because he isn't human. Humans do not have black blood. Why didn't they make him die more slowly? One by one, people returned to their homes, leaving me standing there alone, staring at the corpse. My mind plays back images of my parents' and sisters' murders. Again, my heart tears open as I stand there and wonder how they died. Quickly, I push the sadness away. The slumped-over corpse reminds me of Pithy in her mother's arms. Pithy's head bled in much the same way. His death will not bring any of them back. As I said, I think this book is powerful, even if you haven't had a chance to go to Cambodia, even if you hadn't had a chance to go to the killing fields and learn about what happened there. I do think this is a lesser-known genocide, a lesser-known chapter of history. And for those of you who, like me, are Americans, you have to realize that this genocide was triggered in part by us because our bombing of Cambodia, the secret bombing, which nobody knew about, really, but was authorized by the war criminal Henry Kissinger, is what destabilized the country and allowed it to fall into a civil war. That civil war was then won by the Khmer Rouge, who then put together this brutal, horrible 4-year reign, which terrorized the Cambodians. Another great tragedy caused by American interference in other countries. It's an ongoing discussion for another time. But if you'd like to get a copy of this book for yourself, to read it, as I say, just be prepared for some difficult reading, difficult but necessary reading. You can buy a copy using the link in the description. That's one of the ways you can support this channel. You can also do so by hitting like or subscribe, sharing this content with people who might be interested in learning more about this. If you'd like to thank me for this presentation, there's links to PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee below. If you'd like early access to videos like this one, get a monthly exclusive video from me, and have a chance to ask me questions behind the scenes, there's Patreon and YouTube membership. If you'd like to nominate a book for the future, my Amazon wish list is below. Go through, find a book that you really connect with, buy it, send it my way. You'll also see books for Palestine there if you're interested in that issue. There's another channel I run called Palestine Bookshelf. But if you nominate a book there, it's going to go for that channel. And if you'd like to if you feel comfortable sharing in the comments section, particularly about that last passage I read, it's a way that we can talk about, you could say, vigilante justice, or even how deep we can go when we've lost our humanity. I think the actions of the grandmother and the mother, understandably, the horror that they'd gone through, it doesn't justify such a killing. And in a sense, they have become the Khmer Rouge. They became that which they hated, and that is its own tragedy. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments, so let's keep the conversation going there. Until next time, enjoy your reading.